So I don't know if you guys really remember this at all, but a few weeks back there was several reports as far as WWE management. They know that these shows for the most part are a chore to get through, and they're going to like actively change up the storylines and change up creative directions to make these shows fun and enjoyable and watchable once again. And Raw and SmackDown, that's two different, I guess, it's night and day. Although Raw and SmackDown, like the whole company in general, just kind of feels ice cold creatively, because it is. And Raw is probably the lesser of two evils of both shows, although they still have their problems as well. But man, I will admit one thing: SmackDown is a chore to watch on most weeks, and given the fact that it's only 2 hours, so it feels like you're watching just mindless television here, because really what we get here on a week to week basis isn't anything really, I guess, must see, must watch that you have to tune in consecutively on most weeks to watch. Like me personally, I don't even want to come around to Fridays, because I know that's the night that I have to watch SmackDown and cover it here. Like tonight, I really don't want to cover SmackDown. I really don't even want to watch SmackDown, but I put myself through that whole fucking pain because I guess I am sadistic or whatever the case is. But, out of SmackDown in general, the only thing that I really enjoy on a week to week basis is the US Open Challenge. But then again, that's only one minor thing that you could really pinpoint out. Eventually, let's say these US Open challenges, they disappear. What are we going to be left with then? Because we really don't have any hot storyline at the top of the show to really get you invested into what, is the current direction. Like tonight we had Cody Rhodes and Aleister Black. They teased a future possible program because Cody Rhodes came out during the kickoff for the show and told everybody that he was moving past Drew McIntyre, that he wanted to watch from the crowd. Aleister Black interrupted, and we got this match official after Zelina Vega slapped the shit out of him. And we got this match official, but this match was starting within the last 10 minutes of this whole show ending. So that there was going to be something at the end, which caused this match to not be as clean as we thought it was. And then we see Drew McIntyre claymore the referee. He gets into it with the referee. He starts talking shit about him, considering the fact of this is the same referee that was officiating the match at Saturday night's main event. Then we see both men, Aleister and Drew McIntyre, attack Cody. We then see Damian Priest come out to make the save. This, ends up in a brawl between all four men. Eventually, Nick Aldis comes out here and tells Drew McIntyre that as of right now, indefinitely, he is suspended for the time being. And again, I could not really find myself caring as far as watching another Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes match. I know eventually that's probably the play once again. We haven't seen Randy Orton. We haven't seen anything as far as what the deal is with that. And I feel like Drew McIntyre at this point, does anybody really care? Do you really care that Drew McIntyre is once again proclaiming a championship match? Like, I feel like if you wanted him to be in the championship picture, just give him the championship for a month. There's no issue with him holding the title for, at the very least, a month. Switch up the process, because Cody, his whole reign, there's nothing really interesting about it because there's no story that grabs you. Like I said, I can reiterate this week in, week out, but at the end of the day, they have to make the choices. They have to make the changes to actually make this interesting and fun. But other than that, there wasn't really much to talk about here. We had the Open Challenge, like I mentioned before. Ilya Dragunov was interrupted by Tommaso Ciampa. Tommaso was going to accept the challenge when Ilya rejected his offer and instead chose his partner, Johnny Gargano, to have the match against. And this was a fucking great match, bro. I really wasn't such a big NXT fan like back in the black and gold days, but I've heard things about Johnny Gargano. But this was a fucking great match here. These two guys, really in general, when you give any of these guys a significant amount of time, they're gonna knock it out of the park. And that's what we've seen recently with Sami Zayn, the Open Challenge with that, Ilya Dragunov, the Open Challenge with this. Again, like I said, I just fear the day when we don't have these open challenges to rely on. What are we going to get excited about when that day comes? We also had John Cena. The last time is now two new official matches revealed. One was between The Miz and everybody's favorite, Jey Uso. And the next match was between LA Knight and a surprise possible opponent. So let's get down as far as the first match. The Miz against Jey Uso. I wonder who's going to win that match. I kind of say jokingly, but don't put it past these people to give Jey Uso the retirement match here. Like, it just seems like they're kind of brain dead in the sense of, if they were to give him this match, like, I don't doubt they possibly would like to give him this match, because that's just how they've been operating recently, man. Especially with all this Jey Uso talk that we've been hearing recently as far as everybody online goes. Like, man, don't put it past these people to actually fucking do that. And they might think, oh, this is great storytelling, when in reality it's subpar at best. And then LA Knight against a surprise possible opponent. This was kind of held up by Nick Aldis. He made mention like, hey, I'm gonna keep this to myself. I know the narrative nowadays is Edge. Is Edge going to be the possible final opponent for John Cena? Like, I need you guys to understand something. Edge is not coming back to face John Cena in his last match. I have a better chance of winning the lottery than Edge has a chance at being Cena's final opponent. It's just physically not possible. Edge is still under contract to AEW. That's just physically not going to happen. There's not going to be an exchange that's going to occur. So everybody that keeps hoping that this is the possible direction, let me be the one to break the news to you. It's not. As far as the surprise goes, who knows who that could be? Possible Joe Hendry, possible Chris Jericho. I don't really know. Maybe it's Gunther. I don't really know. But at this point, it's whatever. Eventually, the one person who's going to end up suffering from this is LA Knight. A couple of last things here that I want to make mention of. We had a new women's US champion crowned in Chelsea Green. I'm not gonna lie, I was barely paying attention by this point when she won her match against Julia. She became the new women's United States champion. This is not going to change a damn thing. That championship has been booked like shit. Compare that to the IC title, the women's IC title. That championship, you can put it on whoever you want. It's not gonna matter, because that championship doesn't mean anything. We also had Jade Cargill come out here and really just cut a simple promo about how she is that bitch now, and Charlotte comes out for her match against Nia Jax, and there's sort of a mini stare down between both women. Eventually, I'm sure that's what's going to happen, because, there's only so many baby faces on the SmackDown side for Jade to go up against. Eventually, you're going to give her matches such as Jade against Alexa, Jade against Charlotte. We also had the debut, I guess, of Lash Legend. I mean, these NXT names, they expect you to know who these NXT people are. Like, I don't think if you watch these shows casually, I don't think you really even have an idea of Lash Legend. But I do remember distinctly hearing some rumors a few months ago as far as her potentially being on the War Game side of the women's equation. So that's probably the main reason why I see them bringing her up at this time. But yeah, man, that was basically all of SmackDown. That was my little recap in less than 10 minutes. Let me know what you thought of SmackDown. Let me know what you think of WWE as a whole, the current product in 2025. Do you think there needs to be several changes made at the helm? Mr. Baldman, Bald Fraud, Triple H over there. Let me know what you guys think about all this whole situation. And until next time, take care, and I will see all of you on the next one.